The $100 million defamation lawsuit filed by Melania Trump against the hosts of The View is more than just a high-profile legal battle. It's a cultural flashpoint that highlights the evolving dynamics of media responsibility, free speech, and public perception. Known for its provocative debates and outspoken hosts, The View has often courted controversy, but this time the stakes are higher than ever. Melania's decision to sue the show is not only about protecting her reputation but also about challenging a media landscape that she argues has gone too far in blurring the line between opinion and defamation. The controversy erupted during a segment of The View that began as a discussion of Donald Trump's presidency but quickly veered into personal territory. The hosts made a series of claims about Melania, accusing her of hating Christmas, destroying the Rose Garden, and being an unwilling participant in her husband's political career. They even went as far as suggesting that she couldn't stand to sleep in the same room as her husband. Delivered with a mix of sarcasm and certainty, these statements were framed as facts rather than opinions, sparking widespread outrage from Trump supporters and raising questions about media ethics. For Melania, these comments were not just offensive but damaging to the image she has carefully cultivated. Unlike her husband who thrives on controversy, Melania has consistently sought to remain above the fray. She rarely gives interviews, avoids public feuds, and values her privacy, which makes her a target for speculation and assumptions. In this case, the hosts of The View filled in the gaps with a narrative that painted her as bitter, disengaged, and trapped, a depiction that her legal team argues is both false and harmful. At the heart of the lawsuit is Melania's claim that the comments made by the hosts were not only inaccurate but made with actual malice, a legal standard that requires proving that the statements were knowingly false or made with reckless disregard for the truth. Winning such a case is notoriously difficult, especially for a public figure, but the potential stakes are enormous. A victory for Melania could set a precedent that forces media outlets to be more cautious in their commentary, while a loss could embolden critics and reinforce the idea that public figures are fair game for even the harshest scrutiny. The hosts of The View have faced backlash before for their controversial remarks, but this lawsuit stands out for its potential implications. A $100 million judgment would not only be a financial blow to the network but could also lead to a major shift in the show's approach. Known for its spirited debates and unfiltered opinions, The View thrives on controversy, but a loss in court could force stricter editorial guidelines and a more cautious tone, changes that would fundamentally alter the show's identity. Among the many claims made during the segment, the accusation that Melania hates Christmas has been one of the most talked about. On the surface, it may seem like a trivial remark, but it speaks to a larger cultural debate. Christmas, as a symbol of family tradition and shared values, carries significant weight in American society. To accuse someone of hating it is essentially to question their character and their alignment with these values. For Melania, who represented the United States on the world stage as First Lady, such an accusation carries even greater significance. Critics of the lawsuit argue that it represents an overreaction and an attempt to silence dissent. They contend that as a public figure, Melania should expect scrutiny, even if it sometimes crosses into speculation. However, her supporters see the lawsuit as a necessary stand against a media culture that often prioritizes sensationalism over accuracy. They argue that platforms like The View have a responsibility to be fair and measured in their commentary, particularly when discussing individuals with significant public influence. The lawsuit also forces a broader conversation about the role of media in an increasingly polarized society. With the rise of social media and 24-hour news cycles, the line between journalism and entertainment has become increasingly blurred. Shows like The View, which blend commentary with humor and drama, wield enormous influence. But with that influence comes a responsibility to ensure that their narratives are grounded in fact rather than conjecture. For Melania, this case is about more than just her reputation. It's about challenging a system that she believes has become too cavalier in its treatment of public figures. By taking legal action, she is sending a clear message that there are limits to what can be said, even in the name of entertainment. However, the case also raises important questions about free speech and the extent to which media platforms should be held accountable for their content. The potential outcomes of the lawsuit are significant. If Melania wins, it could prompt a re-evaluation of how media outlets approach commentary on public figures, potentially leading to greater accountability and a shift away from sensationalism. On the other hand, a loss could reinforce the idea that public figures must accept a higher level of scrutiny and criticism, no matter how harsh or speculative. The public response to the lawsuit has been predictably polarized. Supporters of Melania see it as a long overdue stand against a biased media, while critics view it as an attempt to stifle free speech. The case has also sparked debates about gender, with some arguing that Melania is held to a different standard than her male counterparts in public life. Her critics have often labeled her as complicit in her husband's controversial policies, while her supporters argue that she has been unfairly targeted for simply being associated with him. Ultimately, the lawsuit is about more than just one episode of The View. It's a reflection of the larger cultural and political tensions that define our time. It raises important questions about the balance between free speech and accountability, the role of media in shaping public narratives, and the rights of public figures to protect their reputations. Whether you see Melania's legal action as a fight for justice or a publicity stunt, there's no denying that it has captured the nation's attention. As the case unfolds, it will be closely watched by legal experts, media professionals, and the public alike. Its outcome could have far-reaching implications for the future of media accountability and the way we discuss public figures in the digital age. Whether Melania emerges victorious or not, one thing is certain: this lawsuit has sparked a conversation that is far from over. Stay tuned for updates and don't forget to like and subscribe for more on this developing story.